I'm excited about the future. It's like this, I tell people all the time, and when they ask me questions like that, it's like, I got a Ferrari in the garage. I'm just waiting for the doors to open, my friend. And I'm gone. Because when I go, I ain't going to slow down.
Lord, keep me as I travel down this road.
Welcome to the Number One Podcast,
where we give you an authentic look into the world's healthiest, wealthiest, and most inspirational minds.
We talk about trending topics, bold ideas, and give you real-world examples that will inspire you to take massive action to become the number one version of yourself.
Welcome back to another episode of the Number One Pod. We're here with Bill Wash, the founder and CEO of the Objection Box. Massive following. You're kind of, instead of reading your entire rap sheet, I think we'll hit every point kind of one by one throughout the interview here. We'll just jump right in though. Objection handling. Why did you focus on that in particular as part of the sales process versus a funnel, building a funnel, marketing, why that point in the process?
I cut my teeth there. I didn't want to do follow-ups. I have a very kind of, I suppose, in-your-face kind of personality. I can mix with the best of them. And I said, fuck you, get out of my way.
Fuck you, get out of my way. I love that. So where did you, cut your teeth? Like how did you get started?
Yeah, so I got into sales on the back end of COVID in terms of fitness. Okay. And at that time we were selling, jumping jacks, sit-ups and fucking push-ups. Yeah. And we fundamentally kept the business open through COVID, fucking selling push-ups and jumping jacks and sit-ups. So it kind of just took off from there, and I started then sales January 2021. March of that year then was running a sales team for a sales development company, and then in the 6th of June 2022 we set up the Objection Box, and the rest is history, as they say. Yeah.
Awesome, man. So 2020 to now, it's about 4 years.
Yeah.
What were you doing before that?
So I spent 4.5 years in military.
Okay.
And I spent another...
Irish military.
Irish military, yeah. Defense Forces.
We won't assume, but the accent.
You've got to be very clever with that, yes. Irish Defense Forces. And then I moved to London at 21, 22 years of age. And I fell into sales then at 28. So from 22 to 28, I was in training, gyms, health clubs, online coaching, shit like that. And then COVID came in, wiped it all off the board. And then I just kind of fell into sales and, took off like a fucking mad tornado.
Awesome.
As they say.
That's sick, man. Yeah. I mean, as you know, well, maybe you don't know. I don't know how much you guys have caught up before, but...
You told me everything. You told me all of your dark secrets.
Your whole life story.
Oh, yesterday?
I don't even remember yesterday.
But now we're both in sales ourselves. So, yeah. I really want to dig into the objection versus like a pipeline, right? So you had on a shirt earlier. You can't see it, but it says pipelines are for people who can't close.
Correct.
That's a pretty bold statement, right? Yeah. So many sales, like traditional sales jobs. So my background's in enterprise sales.
Yeah.
So if you want to close 3 million, you need like 12 million in pipe.
Yeah, it's different.
Or 9 million in pipeline, right? If you are selling cars and you want to do, $5,000 in commissions, then you need X amount in pipeline. So that's how a lot of people think about it. So why do you think that that's less important?
Firstly, because I'm a prick. I'm in your face, and I'm very bold, and I'm rash, and I speak my mind. I'm very full of controversy, I guess. Just my personality. Like as we say in Ireland, we'll put a cat amongst the pigeons.
A cat?
A cat amongst the pigeons. So if I had a box of pigeons here now and I threw a cat in there, what would happen? That's my personality.
I like to rattle people up.
Yes, rattle it all up. We do it in Ireland because it's like how our personality is built in Ireland. It's like, and my brothers are the exact same. Like we will keep, do you ever see a woodpecker?
Just keep picking at you?
Just all day. Next minute you'll hit the roof. And then we'll just say, hold on a second, why are you hitting the roof? Yeah. So that's just who I am. It's just how we get off on things. But this was a tongue-in-cheek. Now for what you sell, it's all pipeline. This is more for online coaches, consultants, agencies, online products, services, communities, or selling mentorships or masterminds and shit like that. People that actually can't close. And then they say, how many deals are in the pipeline? 78 in a week. You're like, no. It's just that you can't close, dickhead.
No,
right. You just can't close the deals. Anything that's B2C shouldn't have any pipeline, in my opinion. Not like extensive, but like for yours, enterprise sale where you're talking millions and millions and millions and it's a long sales cycle, yes, of course.
Yeah.
Not from my side.
Yeah, with my business, if you have a pipeline, it's because you've already closed them on the sale, but you need to close them actually in the loan. Like being in mortgages, I mean, the sales cycle is going to be anywhere from 15 to 45 days, depending on the transaction, right? And it could be 300 grand, it could be 3 million. It just totally depends, right? And so you have to close them up front because they're either going to work with you or someone else.
Correct.
So if you do have a pipeline, it's an open pipeline of closed clients per se in the sale, but they still need to be serviced and then they need to be funded, right? And that's really a close.
Yeah, that's the difference.
Yeah.
Like it's all like pipelines it's all industry based. So you guys are full pipeline deals. You're not like Mary rings you on Monday, you speak to Mary on Tuesday, Mary fucking drops 3 million into a bank account and you're in escrow and off you go and buy fucking 6 properties for it. It's not that. For us, it's like, you're just shit.
Yeah.
You're just crap. You're just not good. And that's why you're leaning on your pipeline.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's it. Tongue in cheek.
Well, let me ask you, because like obviously the objection box is your thing. Objections are your, like, that's the objection. Your objective is to overcome the objection, right? So what I'm interested in hearing, what are the top objections that you hear?
There's 5. There's only 5. Think about it, partner money, fear, and logistics. That's it.
All right, slow that down one more time.
Say that in American. No, okay.
I will say it. Right. 1 cheeseburger, 2 cheeseburger.
Here we go.
There's 5. So think about it, which is the biggest smokescreen in the entire industry. I don't care what you sell. I don't care what you do. Think about it. Yeah. Second one is partner. Okay. Third one is money, fear. And then the last one is logistics, which is like, I don't have my credit card on me. My wife took it to the shop. The dog ate my homework, blah, 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 blah. So there's 5. Now, I come up against competition that say there's 50 or 200. I'm like, no, you're just retarded. There's not. There's 5. And people would be like, well, what when someone says, let me go and pray on it? What is that objection to you? Where in those top 5 would you think, let me pray on it?
I'm going to think about it.
Yeah, or it's a partner objection, isn't it? It's a smoke screen. What do you need to go and think about? What do you need to go and pray on? What is it that's coming off you that makes you feel that you need to go and speak to God about? I'm just a little bit uncertain around the investment. I'm just a little bit uncertain because I've moved into something in the past and I didn't really have success. Fear. I'm just a little bit uncertain because I'm not really sure whether we can, close it all out, because logistically we have something coming up. Logistics. So you got to get beyond it, which is the key. So there's only 5. Think about it. Partner, I'll slow it down for you because I got a really thick Irish accent.
Paranoid.
Money, fear, logistics. That's it.
Yeah. It's funny you say that because, I mean, thinking of my business, right, selling software, I have like a premium Discord, right? So I'm on YouTube, I have a channel, we do that, right? 100% it's those 5 things. But even in enterprise sales, it's either we're afraid because we bought something from another vendor.
Fear.
And they said it'd take 3 months, it took a year.
Yep.
We still haven't got all the value out of it. Logistics, we don't have people to implement.
Yep.
Right? And then everything else. So despite it, I think your focus just being on the objection versus like pipeline.
Yeah.
My deals get killed because of those 5 reasons. So I 100% agree. And really, I say I don't, there's definitely aren't 50 reasons. No. I think, from where I come from, it's like people have a problem and they're willing to spend money to solve that problem. Yeah. And so you just have to convince them that you have the answer. Yeah. And they'll give you the money.
Well, it's funny. I was here yesterday and that's what it is. It's your problem, my solution, your decision. That's it. 101.
That's true. Huge. Yeah, with mine, it's really a 2-factor. It's either relationship because they know another broker, or price. So they're getting a better rate somewhere else, or they're getting better fees. And like at that point, I can easily overcome that by reducing my fees or getting a better rate, right? But then again, like it's not really a sale at that point. Like you're bending.
You're bartering. Yeah. It's like, well, I can get it over here for 0.1% less.
Exactly.
Like, you got to lean in on who you are as a person and what you deliver and your service and your value and who.
And I mean, that's what we do here at the studio. I mean, we're the highest priced studio in Miami.
I can see why.
Yeah, but there's a reason, and it's because we deliver a superior result. Everybody else is recording in 1080p. We deliver in 4K. People don't pay attention to the lights and the backgrounds and all these things, and we do. Yeah. We have people with 10 years of experience on payroll that are making things happen in a way that other people can't. And so we can charge a premium. And if you don't like that, I'll give you the number to the guy that's down the street. He charges like quarter of what we charge.
Got downstairs. Yeah.
And it's about the quality, That's what it is. Like, you look at this place, it's stunning. Not sure about this geezer over here now.
That's why he's not on camera right now. But I read you did 4 million in sales in the last 2 years.
Remember, he likes to pick.
I think.
Yeah, collected.
Assuming going back was 4 years you started, you did 4 million in the last 2 years.
In about 18 months.
18 months.
Yeah.
So what do you think was key to that? What was the key lever that you unlocked your doing that much? Yeah,
we had probably less than, I want to reference this back because it's really important, because people will hear $4 million and they will think of like 20% profits. I ain't there. All of that revenue, all of that cash has been collected with less than 60 grand in ad spend.
Wow.
So I say that because it's really important, because you can only do that with value, testimonials, case studies, reputation, relationships, and no BS results. Straight up. 100%. We have over, 2,500 screenshots, testimonials, case studies in that time. So we're very, very fortunate, but we've worked our fucking face off. I'm in the trenches every single day. And the biggest thing for us is being able to turn up for all of our guys. We're not, a lot of our competitors, a lot of my competitors are spending their way out of their problems.
They're spending their way out.
Spending their way out of their problems. Marketing their lack of service.
Wow, that's huge. Yeah, but your retention rate is so low when you do that.
Yeah.
Right. Because if you can't service the clients and we've experienced, what we've prided ourselves on is our ability to service people at a very high level, so that even if we don't get as many leads, even if we don't get as many people, we're getting the same people coming over and over again because we're servicing them and we're building the relationships with them.
Yeah.
Right. And that's how you continue to build an actual business that's going to sustain itself. Whereas if I dropped hundreds of thousands of dollars, or let's just say I dropped a couple grand into ads and we got bombarded and I couldn't service them, they're not coming back. No. And we just screwed our reputation.
Correct.
And this is what I think so many businesses do, and I'm sure that's what the competition you're seeing as well.
Yeah, they spend upwards of nearly $1 million a month on ads.
Yeah.
That's insane. So I guess that really ties into then, objection handling, because your goal, regardless of ad spend, you want your retention to be high, right?
Yeah,
you want your win-loss rate, I guess, put it in sales speak, to be high regardless, right? But $60K of ad spend for $4 million of revenue is
cash.
That's
collective.
like net.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's
great.
insane. So I guess you're working hard with people, you're delivering value. So was it the testimonials? Like, was it, I guess, from like where you sit, what do you feel like you did? Or was it really just the end product? Like, it really honestly just was the end product that kind of allowed you to unlock those numbers?
This is not corny and this is not creepy and it's not cheap, but as being Irish, Irish people will always be, they'll always refer back to someone else that was Irish and kind of took on the world. The last Irish person to take on the world was who?
I'm not a history buff. I don't know.
The last person that was Irish to take on the US was who?
To take on the US.
Every single person knows him, fights with his hands.
Shit, McGregor.
Yeah. Okay.
So we always get related back to that, and it's like it's not. I don't ever want to say we're on that level, but if you can look back and you can say on his run up, he was in your face, he delivered.
Yep.
And he said what he was going to do, and he did what he did.
Wow, that's true.
And we have a kind of a swagger about us Irish people. When we're good, I'll make sure you know I'm good.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. When we got case studies, results, testimonials, I ran them so far down your throat that you actually either wanted to be a part of it or you actually blocked us. And I will continue to do that because that's the truth. So that's really what it's been about. And it's different because in Ireland, we're told to stay in your lane, stay below your means. Don't buy if you don't have it. Like, I didn't have a credit card till I was 25 years of age. It was only 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
So we're always told that if you don't have it, don't spend it.
Yeah.
It's the kind of life that I've come from.
Wow.
So for me to go out there and talk my shit daily, but also back it up daily, it's kind of it's something we don't do.
Yeah.
Right.
In Ireland. So when someone does it, it's like, oh fuck.
Do you feel like moving, I do want to come back to your business, but do you feel like leaving Ireland helped you shift your mindset of?
Massive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because when I left Ireland, my biggest focus was to leave Ireland in a space of I left the naysayers behind. So I always tell people, if you don't support me, if you don't encourage me, you don't pay me, you ain't around me. And that went for family, friends, mum, dad, sisters, brothers. I don't have any sisters, but we call her my twin and my sister. Everyone. I just left them.
Wow.
I deleted everyone off social media and it's funny because we're doing an event next week in Dublin. I'm bringing 50-something people flying into Dublin, which you never fly to Dublin. The only reason you fly to Dublin is to go get drunk. But I'm bringing over 50 salespeople into Dublin next week from all over the world. I have a man coming from Australia to shake my hand.
Wow.
So I'm really proud of that. And the reason I say this is I had to leave all of that behind. And I'm going to bring it up in Dublin. I've been talking like this since 2016, 2017, when I was in fitness. And I don't know, it's a weird sense of belief.
Yeah.
Like there's undeniable belief in my soul,
Yeah.
So it's unusual.
So I've got a question. The undeniable belief is a very difficult concept for a lot of people to rationalize because so many people are trapped in the loop of fear, doubt, and disbelief in their own selves. Even when other people will encourage them and talk into them, they still don't believe it.
Yeah.
So what's been your catalyst to shift the belief, or did you always have that belief? And if so, how do you keep it? Because so many people often, and maybe it's just an Irish thing, but there's so many people that will doubt you and talk, you know, maybe not even talk life into you. They'll tell you like, you're not going to do this, right? And some people use it as fuel, but some people get crippled by it.
Yeah.
So how are you able to block out the naysayers and believe in yourself on such a level?
I actually don't block them out. I take it all. I'd rather listen to the naysayers than the people that me on the back. There's a great man called Andy Frisella. Did you ever hear about him?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So Andy Frisella says you get more from the negative, the bad, than you get from the good. So I could have 100 people say you're the bomb, like you're the best, you're the X, Y, and Z. You're the GOAT, as people throw around all the time. It's like, what the fuck? I'm no GOAT. But I would have one person say, I did a training, I'm not too sure on it, because it doesn't really, you know, reflect on my industry. I'm like red hot. I'm like, you fucking prick. And I'll just stare, and I'll just like, even now I can feel it. And it's that burning piece of, I'm going to ram it so far down your fucking throat that you will never, ever, ever speak about me like that again.
Wow.
I don't know. Yeah.
So what would your suggestion be for someone?
It's not healthy, is it?
No, I mean, I like it. Look, I'll tell you, I recently had a competitor that tried to like basically copy this whole fucking place.
Yeah.
You know, and they did it in my own building. And you know what it did was it sparked a fire in me. I didn't even know that I needed that to happen in order to catapult me into a different level, because I was like, at first I was upset and I'm like, I'm going to fucking kill this guy. Right.
Yeah.
But then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to compete and I'm going to be better.
I'm going to better you.
Right. Yeah. And I had that not happened, it was a blessing. Had it not happened, I would have remained comfortable and stagnant where I was. Yeah. Because I was just skating by. There was nobody to compete with.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
And now they can't compete because we've elevated everything. Right. Now, my question to you would be, because some people may not have the external critic, what if it's the internal critic? Do you struggle with that?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. But it's the chip on my shoulder that's so fucking big that it's like somewhat crippling. It's like, I'll tell you this. So when I was in fitness, I was 23 years of age and I bought a Range Rover Sport, paid for cash. And at 23 years of age, to buy your dream Jeep, it's like, fuck. 2 weeks later, the shine was gone off it.
Yep.
And my partner at the time, she said, like, you're never going to be happy. And I've never been happy. Sad, innit? Like, even when we've made great money, I bought a brand new penthouse, you know, just under $1 million. No, it's actually over $1 million, under £1 million. And boom, boom, boom. Next one, next one, next one, next one. And that's great for a salesperson, but it's also not great for, like, peace in your life.
So
know?
what do you, I guess, how do you find peace then?
I haven't found it yet. If you can find it and let me know where to find it on this earth, let me know, and
I have ideas. This is something I think about often, right? And this is why I love talking to people, you know, on this podcast, because we all have the same problems. Like we've talked about this with Edward Collins. You know, he, you know, made a ton of money, retired early, young, built a 7-figure, 8-figure business, was unhappy, extremely unhappy when he did more stuff. Yeah. I think that peace is just in the work, which is really kind of sad. It's not sad. I think it's just like something you have to accept that like at some point you'll probably want to do something and maybe money won't even be a metric anymore, right? I'll give you an example. So I've been a dancer for a long time. I'm getting too old though. My joints hurt. So I
still... You mean a dancer? What kind of dancer?
Break dancer. Break dance, right? So I want to open a studio with and I was talking to somebody about this, that just like, it doesn't even have to make money. I feel like there's a compulsion that we have that everything has to be profitable. Yeah, if I work on something, it should make money. And I was like, what if I worked on something and it didn't make money because I already had money, right? And I feel like that's the end goal, where it's like,
it's a passion project.
Because we can't stop, right? I doubt you'll ever stop. Like you can't stop, right? Like,
barely fucking sleep. Never mind stop.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like at some point you'll probably spend your time doing something similar or close to what you're doing, and you just won't care about money anymore. No. What are you gonna do? Buy a bigger penthouse? Buy another Jeep?
Buy another watch? Yeah.
So that's what I think. I think the end for all of us is just
the grind. I don't know. I've got 2 cents on it. Coming from a Christian background, I've always been taught that, you know, really our relationship with God, or more importantly, Jesus, is what gives us a peace that surpasses all understanding. Yeah. Right. For me, what I've found is, as I am building a relationship with God, what it does for me is it gets me closer aligned with my purpose. Mm-hmm. And as I'm closer aligned with my purpose, I realize that within that purpose is a grind, because I'm building something that's bigger than myself. And to go back to what you're saying, is the peace for me does come in the chaoticness of the grind. Because if I'm always hustling and I'm always selling and I'm always closing and I'm getting the small wins as I build momentum, it sucks and there's pain in that, but there's also an immense amount of joy and peace. And that's part that I get is, if you're just, I was a financial advisor. That's how we met. We were working at Edward Jones Investments. I hated that job. I hated it. And it was like, I could make a sale, or I could get some money, you know, in the bank, but I was not satisfied because I hated what I was doing every day.
Yeah.
So I think so many people are caught up doing something that they hate for so long just to get a check,
Yeah.
realizing that they're not at peace, you know? And so for me, I've always found like, what is that? And I've found it through a relationship with God. You know, that's been my thing is like, even in the chaoticness of it all, I could sit down in prayer, or I could sit down and journal, or I could sit down with music on, and everything just goes away. And I've also found
powerful.
it when I'm in fitness too. If I'm in the gym and I work hard, like it just goes away. You know, I can come back with a renewed mind.
Yeah. We're the same because I'm Irish, and like it's a massive Christian faith. And I think faith is an interesting concept because where I come from, it's rammed down your fucking throat. What it is, it actually repels you. I think religion and faith has to find you, and you have to go find it.
Well, you have to seek it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than, you know, it's forced on you. Yeah. When it's rammed down your throat, if you have an inch of rebelliousness in you, it's like, I'm going to fucking spit this
That was
so
me my
far
whole
away.
life.
Yeah.
That was my whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to run away from it long enough for me to go seek it.
Yeah.
Because I felt I was at like rock bottom, and it was time for me to go find it, you know. But it's like the same thing in sales. It's commission breath. It's religious commission breath, right?
Yeah.
If you're always forcing the sale down someone's throat, bro, they're gone.
Yeah. Going for good luck.
Yeah, man.
I'm not religious, but I do find, I mean, I grew up in the church, so I get it. And I do think religion becomes a framework for that purpose for a lot of people. But I think one way or the other, you ultimately will end up at that same kind of outcome of, you know, if you're this type of person where you either end up teaching or growing on something, right? I think the analogy for the gym, like I go to the gym now, it's like you can't get bigger and stronger forever. Like eventually you're going to be 55.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But there's still this desire
You'll be still
to
dancing at 55, my friend.
I'll
You'll
still be
still
dancing.
going.
I mean, my mentor, he's still dancing. He's doing head spins and
He'll be taking
he's lived
clone
for-
shots and every.
That's awesome, man.
I
So
mean,
out did we-
hopefully in 20 years we'll have some like new parts. We can like.
everything from the neck down, just
It's all brand
print
new.
it out, you know.
It's 3D printed. Like you got new joints,
Yeah.
dude. Well, I want to bring it back
Elon
to
would
the.
definitely have that going. Elon's got you, buddy. He's the man for you.
I'm gonna hit him up.
Yeah. He's going to put Tesla parts on you.
A
Yeah,
little
for
battery.
real. Yeah, the only problem is he's gonna force you to put some shit on your
The
head.
Neuralink.
You're okay.
You're seeing ads and shit when you're on the toilet. Like, dude, I'm just trying to take it. You're seeing buy new toilet paper. Like, dude, I got some. Come on.
Yeah, I'm just pissing, buddy. Not the twosies.
Dude. Well, Elon's not a closer. He's an advertiser.
Elon.
Well, dude, I want to bring it back to the objection box and back to the conversation pertaining like objections. So obviously that's what everything's been built around. You've identified the 5 key areas in which an objection, you know, comes from, right?
Yeah.
How are you overcoming these objections? What's your biggest key overcoming point?
Well, give me the objection. What objection would you like me to overcome?
All right, so let's say, you know, I'm talking to a client. I'm a new coach. I'm like, hey, you should buy my program. It's only $3,000.
Yeah.
And they say, hey, I just bought a house. I go talk to my wife.
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, that makes sense to me. I don't know what to say. So what would you tell me to
Yeah,
say?
first thing I would definitely tell you is don't ever mention the word only again. It's only $3,000. When you're
Mistake number 1. Yeah.
So when you're laid up at night and you're watching telly and you can't sleep and the telly shopping is on and next minute what's going on? It's only $9.99. Next minute it's like a block of books. Before you know it, before he's after done his spiel, you're going to get a mat, a block of books, a fucking cat, and you're also going to get your house washed every fucking 2 weeks. So it's like boom, 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 boom. So it's like there's everyone, when you say only, people are waiting for something else. So how I would actually frame that. So let's say I'm selling a coaching program and you give me the objection. I would say this. I would say, so how this works in order to get you to, what's your goal actually? And I'll go from there.
I'm the coach selling the program, right?
I'll sell the program to you.
Okay.
You're the buyer that needs to talk to your wife.
Yeah, I want to increase.
Let's say you just want to make more money.
Yeah, I just want to
Pretty
make
easy.
20% more money.
20% money. Okay, so you want to go from, let's say, 8K to 10K.
Yeah.
Yeah, very easy. And you want to do it by opening up a breakdancing studio.
Yeah.
Very easy.
Yeah.
So I'd say this. I would say, yeah, very, very simple, Forrest. How this works of taking you from that 8K all the way up to that 10K on a consistent basis, which is fundamentally 120,000 every single year for the rest of your life, which is a lot of income. Okay. How it works, it's done over a 6-month period with us inside. Now the investment is 10K. Okay. Now there is a couple of ways that we can break that down, but that is what it's going to be in order to get you to that 120K for the next 10, 15, 20 years of your life. Okay. Now how we actually need to do that is broken down into 3 key steps. So I go first step, second step, third step, and then we'll wrap it all up. And I would say, now in order to move forward, does all of that make sense to you? Do you feel like that is going to get you to where you want to go?
I understand, yes.
Okay.
I like
Is there
it.
any questions on how we are literally going to help you print that type of money? Yes or no?
No, I like the way you laid it out.
Okay. Now, in terms of moving forward, how do you want to do that? Do you want to use a credit or debit, or how do you want to go about the investment?
So then this is where I would have
is
the
where you
objection.
get the
It's like,
objection.
well, I just moved in to a new house.
Nice,
I prefer to
congratulations.
talk to my wife before making a transaction right now.
Yeah, cool. We can definitely do that. Firstly, congratulations on the house. So I will normalize and just make it conversation.
Yeah.
And then I will say something like this. Like, even before you speak to your partner, because I got a partner, so I have to respect that.
Yeah.
In your own opinion, before you do go and speak to her, like, do you feel what I've gone through today in terms of the steps, that it actually can get you to that level of income, or like, how do you, because that's literally the most important thing for me.
Yeah, and then that forces them to, or really me in this case, to validate it. So I'd say yes. I
Okay,
do
but why? Like, why do you feel it yourself personally? Like, why in your own opinion?
Well, I really like the way that you laid it out, the 3-step process.
Mhm.
This is exactly the things that I didn't know
Mhm.
before, and I feel like you're going to help me achieve my goal. So,
Okay.
yeah, it
cool.
makes sense.
I appreciate that. And like, when you do go and speak to your partner, what was her name actually? Can I ask?
Samantha.
Samantha. Okay, awesome. When you go and speak to Samantha, do you think she would want you to, make that type of money for the family, or like, how do you feel?
What would Samantha say? Let's just say she supports me, but
It doesn't actually matter what she says, because I'm going to look back anyway.
yeah.
So let's
yeah,
say she says yes or no, whatever.
yeah. So yeah, she supports me.
Okay,
Just-
cool.
Yeah.
So, like, when you and Samantha have potentially looked at something like this in the past, what were some of the potential obstacles that may have come up in the past that may have stopped you guys from moving forward back then? Can I ask?
Well, in the past, it was hard to see the outcome or be sure that it was going to be worth the investment.
So, what did you say? What's an investment? Money.
Yeah.
It's fear.
Fear.
So now we're into money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now money's going to split two ways. It's going to go money, fear, money, logistics. From what you're saying, it's money, fear.
Yeah.
Well, what he said at first was money logistics because they had just bought a house.
Yes,
but now
but not
you've
really.
broken it down further and it's
Yeah.
become money fear.
Yeah. But it's like we just bought a house. That's not the real objection. The
Honestly,
objection is I don't have enough money.
I'll just
liquid
run the
cash.
card, and my imaginary wife can deal with it.
But like
Yeah.
it just fun every which
Yeah.
way. I've
Yeah.
never met you before in my life.
Right.
You're a complete stranger to me.
Yeah.
But now you're my Miami brother, right?
Yeah.
But fundamentally, all your objections, all my guys get those all the time. So
Yeah.
you gave me the first big smoke screen, which was fundamentally a partner, which wasn't actually a partner. I got to get you on side first, which is in your own opinion. Do you know why I say in your own opinion?
Right. Because that gets them to. That's really the decision point. When you say in your own opinion, it's like
Yeah.
because they're either going to say yes or they are afraid. Because if I'm afraid,
Yeah.
it's a whole.
I
different
always
thing.
like this. I always tell people, like, you have to go after the person first, because everyone has an opinion, like everyone has an arsehole, as I always tell people, right? Now, when you say yes, what that does, it's create, because there's three people in the conversation now.
Yeah.
So when you say yes, I say yes. Now, what's that? It's two over here, one over here. Now, you and I are going to tackle her, which is Samantha.
Right.
Now,
Right.
Samantha's not going to be able to stand tall, because you and I are going to collaborate. We're going to overcome Samantha together. But I know it wasn't actually a Samantha objection. It was actually a money logistical or a money fear objection. From what you've said on the back end of that, I know there's a money concern, but I also know that there's a fear concern, because you said to me, yeah, we looked at stuff in the past and we may not have got the full value out of it, and which means we fucking invested in something in the past, we didn't get the outcome, and we're scared. That's what it means.
Yeah.
That's it. That's objections.
Yeah.
How fucking simple is that?
Yeah, that's huge. Well, I mean, you navigated that very well.
Thank you.
Real
Fuck.
time,
I wouldn't
real
been
time fake scenario. But
Scenario.
that's why sales are so, I think, scary for people. And I think,
Yeah.
I mean, some people have a knack for it, but I do think like how you broke it down, just one of just like stop selling. Like, hey, congratulations.
He's using the relationship side.
You just got married. Like, that's huge. Like, that makes sense. I think relating to them is really important.
Relation.
But it's also like salespeople, as soon as they hear an objection, it's like,
Oh, they cram
I
them
just
up.
see my first titty. Fuck, what am I going to do? I'm going to do everything. It's like, no, just calm down, buddy. If you don't calm down, she's going to put it away. Calm down, kid.
bricked up on the phone.
It always brings it back. Do you ever see the 40-year-old virgin, I think it is, where your man's like, I grabbed
Yeah.
her titty and it felt like a bag of sand.
Yeah, that's
But it's
crazy.
like, you just got to calm down. But
Yeah.
like, it's just, I always relate the skill sets to sport. And a big guy that you guys know in the US, so I always try and make my analogies relatable to you guys or who I'm ever speaking to. You all know Patty Mahomes, yeah?
Yeah,
Like, Patty Mahomes is great, but what is he great at? Throwing the ball and running.
yeah, completions.
Two things, throwing the ball and run. Now, don't get me wrong, he can probably jump up there, but that's not what he gets paid for.
Yeah,
He could probably tackle a couple of people if he needed to.
it's a small guy, but
Yeah, but I'm sure he could fucking slap himself into somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, is he going to stop him? I don't fucking know. But this is what I say to people all the time. Like, you got to zone in on what you need. Patty Mahomes, I'm going to be 100 million a year, man. Plus, probably plus from all of his endorsements and X, Y, and Z. He throws the ball and he runs the ball. That's it. Stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Focus on the objections. It's just drilling the bitch over and over and over and over and over. You know what I mean? Every day Patty Mahomes goes to the field, you know what he's doing. He's not over there tackling the bag and saying, oh, I saw the guys doing this last week. I'm going to go tackle the bag this week. It's like boom, boom, boom. Drill. That's how it works.
It's good advice. So what are you really working on in your business right now? What are your goals for your business in the next 2-5 years?
I want to be the best.
Yeah. Well, begs the question. You don't think or acknowledge you're not the best today.
No.
So what is that? What are the things that you're chasing after? How would you define what? Okay, let me ask the question properly. What do you have to do to where you can definitively say you're the best?
It's an interesting concept because everyone has different opinions, and everyone's opinion is based on also personalities. So my personalities can rub you one way or can rub you another way, and I'm okay either way. Dickhead. That's what I call it. I'm okay either way. You love it or you hate it. It's like Marmite in the UK. It's like you love it or you hate it. And that's fine. But one thing that I will always say is you got to respect it. One thing I will always say to people, whether you love me or hate me, you will respect me because I produce. And that's the power, you know. You may not like a lot of people, you know, but you know if that person puts up number, you know you're respecting what they've done. You know, and the personalities are different in X, Y, and Z. So in order to be the best, it's not me telling myself I'm the best or you saying I'm the best. It's everyone saying I'm the best. That's what I'm going for. You know, that's the big goal.
External. So there's a degree of external validation.
That's external validation, completely and utterly external validation. It's external validation to make me feel whole. Yeah. Yeah. But there's the big goal for me is I got 2 little girls. So I got a 3-year-old and a 9-year-old. Wow. And my big vision over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever it may be, I want to walk on stage with my girls into a stadium, into some place where there's 6, 7, 8, 10,000 people, all paying to sit in my stadium, in my little room, in my little space. My girls looking around and saying to themselves, my daddy is helping all of these people help their families create financial freedom. That's my goal.
Wow. That's a vision.
I love that.
That's a vision. So I think, going back to earlier, we talked about having peace, or it seems like that really is the, and maybe it's not exactly that, but really it's you want to share what you're doing with your family, really.
Yeah, it's like a big part for me. It's like, I think anyone that's good at anything in theory has gone through hard shit. Yeah. Have had to come up against a lot of issues, problems, concerns in their life in whatever shape, capacity that may look like. So a lot of my drivers are like to feel valued and to feel loved.
Yeah.
Sad, isn't it? But
no,
that's a big
huge.
thing for us.
That's normal.
But it's like, I'm 31 knowing this. I know 50, 60-year-olds that don't know shit.
Yeah.
So at least I know it and I can respect it. So when I get to that position, because it's already done, it's already there, it's already in my mind, I've lived it thousands of times, there'll be a bigger goal. And there'll be another one after that. And there'll be another one after that. So come back to what you said, maybe it's time to go and find Jesus Christ again and find some element of peace and religion, that's for sure. But yeah, that's the big goal at the moment. That's like driving me. It's not numbers. It's not like money.
Yeah.
Because when you make money, it's like, who gives a fuck?
I have a follow-up, but I'll let you.
No, I mean, I love that. One of the things that came to me while you were speaking was an inclination to ask, what's the hardest hardship that you've been through? Because I saw your mind kind of started thinking for a moment as you said, I've been through some hard things.
I've done many hard things, unfortunately, in my life. So my dad left when I was 6, and that kind of really spun me for 20 years, completely spun me. Just didn't understand it, couldn't make sense of it. And then every relationship I had after that was like, I gotta hurt you first before you hurt me. I would always fuck, we're going deep here, but I would always, if I was in a relationship with a person, a girl, actually, just FYI.
You got to clarify in 2024.
You got to clarify. Shit is fucking weird out there. I would always go 90%, but I would keep 10% because if I gave 10% more, then I was 100% in, and then I didn't want to be exposed 100% in again. So I've always been like that. Then I was played high level sport, where I got punched around, and that's what happens in high level sport. You win, you lose. Yeah. And then I was in military, for 4.5 years, having people spit in my face and shit like that because you got a speck on your fucking shoulder of dirt. Like that holds you. You know what I mean? And then I built the business from fuck all in London, which is pretty much one of the hardest environments in the world to create a fitness business. And then it all got crushed down 6 weeks before my little girl, India, was born. COVID was rife. So every hard part of my life, I've always had to come out swinging.
Yeah.
And I've lived a life in 31 years, like more than most will ever live. You know, I have 2 young kids, moved to different countries, built 3 businesses. You know, it's a lot.
Yeah. So now we got to the good part of the conversation. You know, you said we're going deep, but this is what I love about talking to people, especially people who are doing business, right?
Yeah.
Because we've already established that money isn't the motive at this point. You've made money.
Yeah.
You know, Drew's made money. I've made money. So we 100% get it.
Yeah.
So do you feel like, you know, bringing this back to your family, bringing it full circle, your desire kind of to share with your daughters as a dad is related maybe to the fact that your dad left? Is that something that you've considered?
Yes, completely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I intentionally tell my girls every time I see them, I love them and I hug them. Intentionally. I don't remember being loved like that as a kid. And it's different because like my dad grew up with 18 other brothers and sisters in Ireland.
18?
18.
Wow.
1-8. Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, 17. One passed away. So they would have been 18, I think. So that's not love. That's not like, oh my God, you fell over. Let's pick him up and put a boo-boo on his knee. It's like, if you don't come to the fucking dinner table when the food hits, like you're going to go hungry. Like you're like not going to eat tonight.
Like a minion. You're just
Yes, it's like, it's like, so that's where my dad is. So I don't hold any grudges anymore.
Yeah.
And like, but I also hardened it. You know what I mean? I also can do pretty much anything that I want to do now. Meaning that like, there's no fear. Like I've been rejected most of my life.
Yeah.
So for you guys to say yes, no, fuck you, or hang up at the end of a phone call, it's like, who gives a flying fuck? I'm in a warm fucking bedroom or in my spare room or my fucking office, like some of you guys online will be. I wear my fucking pajamas and I'm fucking speaking to a camera. You don't even know where I live, fuckhead. Who gives a fuck? So I got over that like rejection very quickly and says, I was like, I'm this for fucking 20 something years of my life. Fuck you, watch this, dickhead, out of my way. So yes, to answer your question, it always comes back to that. Yeah. Everything I've done in life has come back to trying to find some element of validation and to try and know that people love you and want you.
Yeah, that's huge, man. That is huge.
Yeah, I think that's something that drove me for a while. You know, now my dad's in my life, thank God, but like it wasn't an easy upbringing for sure. You know, my dad didn't have a father. His parents passed away when he was 6.
Right.
So he didn't really get a great role model.
Yeah, for sure.
And he tried to figure it out. And so one of the things that I was able to come to terms with, because I didn't realize until I went through a really difficult relationship that I was like, man, I'm like dating versions of my father over and over again. Because I'm trying to seek his validation in all these relationships. Yeah. And one of the things that helped me put this into perspective was when I could look back at my dad as a kid. Like if I could picture all the times he got angry or upset or threw, like it was like a little kid having a temper tantrum. Or like, you know, I've been in groups where other people have thought about like, oh, my dad left, and it was like he was a little kid that was scared and he like ran away, you know? And so when we can imagine, not just our parents, but when we can imagine other people on the other side of the phone, like they're just little kids that are scared because they've been hurt before and they're afraid to commit.
Correct. Yeah.
And that's why I love, you know, bringing it back to the sale pattern. When you brought it back to Forrest and you related to him, oh, congratulations, and you know you're building a connection, you know, with that individual, so you can see them on a deeper level, and you can have like that heart conversation where it's like you're not just a sale, you're a person, and like this is something that will benefit you. So I think bringing it all together, that's really what it comes down to. Is at the end of the day, we all want to feel loved. We all want to feel desired. We all want to feel encouraged and supported and feel like other people care. And really, that's our job, is to let other people know that like we care about them. You know, at the end of the day.
Don't get me wrong. I had a great childhood. I had a great family. But what it did create was just questions. You know what I mean? And it just created difficulty within. You know, and it's with my girls. It's like I want them to know that no matter what happens, whether I'm home or I'm living away or me and their mother aren't together or whatever, it's like they know fundamentally that they're the most important thing. And I didn't feel that with my dad. Now, don't get me wrong, I felt it with my mum and my stepdad. I felt tremendous love and support, but there's always that question too.
Of course.
That's what it was.
I feel like this is another idea that I've been playing around with. You know, I should write a book on like entrepreneurs and childhood and how we all end up.
How we're all fucked up.
It's because like
That's so true.
your childhood is like a stake in the ground, right?
Yeah,
and some
fucking
people
sure.
live their life in orbit around it.
Yeah.
And some people get further away, but still in orbit around it.
Yeah.
Some people get really far away, but everything that they talk about is in relation to that stake. And so, and I'm the same, you know, it's like, and it's almost, I have this question of like, can you ever cut the rope and just be somebody completely unrelated to whatever this like defining moment was? Because I have very similar, like my dad's dad died when he was a kid, and he was also, this is gonna be confusing. So my dad's dad had 2 families. and he was the second family.
Yeah.
So he was like the estranged son, right? So he, very similar situation, didn't have a dad. So when I think about, you know, all the friction I had with my father, I'm just like, he didn't have someone to teach him how to be a dad. And so I'm just getting the snowball.
Yeah.
Right? And then how much of my life is in reaction to my childhood, my relationships, my struggles? And am I trying to simply, you know, not be my dad? Am I trying to be my dad? Or maybe there's a third option where I just do whatever the fuck I want, you know? Yeah. And it's just interesting when I talk to people how much I think a lot of people, I think all of us to a degree are like getting further and further away from that peg. But I think peace, like when we talk about peace, is when we just finally cut the rope and it's just like, we're just doing our own thing. Yeah, this shit happened, but we're no longer defined by, you know.
It's making peace with it though, isn't it? It's making, you know, I remember I went to an event in San Francisco. I think it was like 26 years of age. And the man that was actually at the event, he said, each one of you in this room, I'll never forget it. It's funny actually, then we came in and worked for me in my business. So it did a full circle as well, but it was super interesting. But he said, there's people in this room that are not letting themselves go because they're holding on to something in the past. And I remember I left that room and I cried and I cried and I cried walking around San Francisco. Like, it's pretty normal now, like, because the fucking place is a dump. But random people walking around crying. But I remember I walked outside and I was just crying walking up and down the street. People were like, he must have got a bad Starbucks or something, like, you know what I mean? He was walking up and down the street bawling like a fucking idiot. But I didn't have the courage at 26 years of age to actually call my dad. I text him. I didn't have the courage in 20 years built up to be able to actually pick up the phone and call him. So I'll always remember that. And that was like me making peace with it. And I saw from his point of view too, you know? I saw from his point of view of not everything is black and white. There's a lot of gray in everything. Yeah. And I always tell people, like, there's your story, there's my story, and somewhere in the middle is their truth, is their story. Because my dad will have his version. My mother will have her version. Yeah. The families will have their version. The friends will have their version. And all of it comes together, and somewhere in the middle of all of that is the actual truth. So I remember that day I had a complete cloud just lift off. And I'll always go back to that day because that was the day that I said, no more. You know, it took me 20 years to pierce that. And it was this mad fucking Asian dude from Australia called Lynn Trin that helped me do that.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, and I think that's why it's important. I think that's why it's important to have a platform, right? You know, that moment you talked about with your daughters, you are, and I'm sure that Australian guy didn't say something you hadn't heard before.
No.
But it was the timing, it was the delivery. Yeah. You being there on that day of the week, so it's like,
and the fact that you were open to it.
Yeah,
like you just said, now you were like, maybe it's time to go search for peace.
Yeah,
whatever that looks like. You know, whatever led you into that moment to have that openness. Like, you know,
you didn't say anything revolutionary. Yeah, you know what I mean. But it was just, in order to go, you got to let go. Yeah, you know, and I'll never forget that day. Yeah, you know. And I remember I just didn't even have the courage to call him.
That's massive. So did you call him or?
No, we've messaged and stuff like that. But Irish people of my dad and mother's generation and beyond, like further, they're not emotionally able to communicate. So I'll give you an example. So my mother's first emotion is anger. Hey, Mom, I just bought you a new car. Why the fuck did you buy me a new car?
This is so true.
Gratitude, Mom.
No. Her first reaction is anger. It's like, Mom, I just fell off the wall and broke my arm. What the fuck did you do falling off the wall? You're like, hold on a second. Did I actually intentionally mean to fall off this wall?
This is so true because this is like my grandparents, bro.
It's just that.
It might just be a boomer thing in general.
Yeah, it's just, they're just not able to regulate their emotions. So my mother's first reaction is just anger in everything. Yeah. Hey, Mom, I'm just having a baby. What? You weren't wearing a condom? It's like, what the fuck? But it's like, so you gotta, again, with my parents, you gotta pierce the smoke screen. You gotta, X, Y, and Z, but we're like, this is still like active. Yeah. So like that would just show you, like, it's hard to have proper emotional, like real honest conversations with people that haven't grown up like that. Yeah. Like in Ireland, when my mom and dad were growing up, it was like, you're working at 13 years of age, you're running 3 jobs. You don't have time to be a child. You don't have time to emotionally develop. You don't have time to, you know, understand the world. You know what I mean? My mother had a pub and a family business since she was 23 years of age. She's 63. 40 years of running something. You know what I mean? Like, there isn't time to be, like, we were hugged as kids, but like there was no like, let's lie on the couch all day and watch fucking Teletubbies. Yeah. It's none of that bollocks. It was like, we got shit to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we haven't sat down like this and been like full honest, like boom, boom, boom. But I don't need to do it anymore now because I've made peace with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
My brothers have a completely different relationship as well.
With
my dad. Yeah. And it's funny because my brother has started to work for me.
Yeah.
And worked with us in the business, and it makes me so proud. I've always wanted a business where I could actually have family in it, because that's what I saw all my life. My mum had a business and my aunt worked there, and it's all been together. But it is challenging also, because it's like expectations. We're twins, and it's like I'm actually the boss. But it's great. It's been absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and knowing your personality now, you probably pick at him.
I don't, unfortunately. No, I don't, actually. If anything, I try and protect him as much as I can. He doesn't get the short end of the stick with me at all. I've just clear expectations. This is the standard, and this is what you got to hit. That's it.
Yeah,
this
that's awesome.
is it.
People always say don't do business with family, but I don't know. I have the same aspiration. Like I always wanted to bring my family.
It's just
into
expectations. That's what I've known. It's like if you outline clear expectations of what you need, and it's not like I need this. I need you to work for me.
Yeah.
It's more like I need you to meet the standard so the companies can grow, so I can give you what you need out of it.
Yeah.
And it's just framing things in a better way.
Yeah. Well, I know one thing I love about the family component is at least like as long as you had a good relationship and still do, at least you know like this person's not going to stab you in the back. Yeah. Like this is your brother. Or like for instance, my mother was visiting a couple weeks ago, and during the week that she stayed here, we got like so much stuff done that I had been putting off because I'm not good at operations. That's not my strength.
Right.
My mom is brilliant at it. So like I haven't been writing down SOPs for everyone. So I was like, I'm good on camera, just film me. And then my mom took it and wrote down all the SOPs. I'm like, this is brilliant. Can I have you do this all the time? Like, you know? Sure. And so it was interesting because I think there's so many people that have like, you're way better at anything technical and operational than I am, right? And so if I can delegate those things to Forrest, who I trust, like he's gonna win and we're gonna win together, right? And so I think that when you can have the family in that component,
it's also friends, right?
Yeah.
It's also when you bring friendships into your business. And for me, I'm very loyal. There's 3 things that I am for people. I love you, I respect you, and I'm loyal to you. Because I give that so much that it inevitably comes back.
Yeah.
And I'll always go first. And unfortunately in life you get burnt. And I have been burnt. I've had ex-clients who I've poured into, gone off and started their own stuff, and now want to compete and shit. And it's like, you can try and compete, my friend, but just know you step in the octagon, you step in the ring, you step on the field.
Right.
I'm going to fucking stick your neck in the ground, kid. And I'm going to not stop until you're crying. That's it. Like, I'm going to take every dollar out of your bank account.
Yeah.
That's it. We're like warriors right now. We're going for it. So that's how I behave when it's game time. So it's just setting expectations, of everyone.
No, that's fair. I mean, one of my roommate in college, so in high school, I was undefeated hurdler in the state of Illinois, right?
Shit.
It's a big deal then.
Yeah.
The guy I ran against at state, so we have a competition where you compete against everybody in your state, right?
Yeah.
It was me and this guy from Chicago.
Yeah.
The first time I met him, we both got recruited by the same school as runners. First time I met him was on the track lining up to run the race, and he was in the lane next to me. And we were going to room together next year, but it was like you said, it was like, hey, we're going to be on the same team next year. But right now, it's fucking either you or me.
Yeah.
But you just reminded me of that. But yeah, I think I don't know, I love doing business with friends. Me and Drew do stuff together. It definitely can be irritating sometimes because it's just because you know them, right? I feel like it's easier to discard people you don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like, but I mean, I've made friends, like I was doing real estate in New York a few years ago, started a business with people who I did not know, but we became friends.
You became very good friends. That's how it works.
And they're still friends today. So it's inevitable, I think, when you find people on that path. And so nonetheless, you have to manage, like you said, expectations.
Yeah, it's just black and white. This is what it is. This is where we're at. In here, I am unfortunately the boss. Out there, I'm your twin and I'm your brother. And we're 31 years on this earth together. We came in together and hopefully we'll go together. And that's just how it goes.
Yeah. So I have 2 questions I like to ask people. What are you most afraid of?
I'm most afraid of unfulfilled potential. And I'm most afraid of truly never feeling at peace with my life.
Really?
Yeah, every day cripples me.
What would stop you from fulfilling your potential then?
If I don't become the best. If I put 100 people in the room and 51 of those people say Bill Welsh is the best.
Yeah, okay.
And I'll kill the other 49. So 51, because it gives me a majority. And that's like, that for me is really important. It's like, I'm gonna ride this bitch until the wheels fall off.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna keep it going and keep moving and keep it literally 6-7 days a week. 31 years of age right now. I got another 30 great years of it. And if I don't achieve it in 30 years, I wasted it.
Is being the best the most important to you, or constantly pursuing being the best? Let's say, and you know, knock on wood, this wouldn't happen. You die in 4 days.
That's not good.
Right? Say you die in 4 days. Your life is flashing before your eyes.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you would feel fulfilled?
No, not a fucking inch.
Really?
Not an inch. Not an inch. I'm embarrassed, to be quite honest with you, how slow we are.
Really?
Embarrassed.
Wow.
And that's the curse of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
And a perfectionist from the sounds of it.
yeah, it's not even perfectionist. It's because it's not like I'm not going to do it until it's absolutely perfect. It's more of like when I jump on podcasts and I jump in meetings and stuff like that, and people do the big spiel. This is Bill Welch and he's this, and this. I actually get like embarrassed because for me, I've achieved 14%.
Yeah. You know the delta. We don't know, but you know that. Yeah.
It's like is that it?
I feel that. Now, I wasn't surprised by your answer. Like, I 100% get it. Where it's like, if I die, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
No. Like, yeah, so I get it.
But I think that's really important, though. It's because I don't think I'll ever lose the chip on my shoulder.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
if I
good.
do, I think what will be there then? You know, will I still have the same hunger, drive, compassion, and like relentlessness? I don't know. So it's kind of like, do you go to counseling and do you actually go and become one of these guys, like I said to you earlier on, walking around on fucking grass with no socks on and make peace with the love and, you know, hump a tree and shit?
Yeah.
But it's like, no.
Well, I think if you really break it down and conceptualize it, a lot of those people are not really at peace. They're numbing.
Yeah, they go
and
off
we all live, you know, a lot of us, especially those who have been through some form of trauma or another, are always, rather than dealing with their demons and making the call, or seeking the peace, or going out and conquering the difficult shit that comes with everyday life, especially if you're a man of substance who's looking to pursue purpose and looking to create that dream life where your girls can be on the stage with you. If you're not that person, then you're going to find a way to numb yourself, whether it be through alcohol or drugs, or some people are, I've met people who are addicted to therapy. Like, they have to go to therapy all the time and they're not getting anything out of it. It's just like a numbing technique. And the people that are addicted to shrooms and microdosing and doing all these things, and it's not because it's helping them in any way or shape or form. They think it may be, but in reality, it's giving them an illusion of helping them, and they're numbing. They're not dealing with their demons. And as men, I'm a firm believer that we have to go through the hard shit in order to accomplish anything in life. And the reason that you feel if you were to die tomorrow and I've only accomplished 14% of what I should be or could have become is because you are constantly trying to pursue it. And those of us who are constantly in the pursuit of our number one version are those who are in the battlefield, in the trenches all the time.
Yeah.
Can we really live a life of peace? That's the question. Because we always have to be pursued. Well, that's the question, because peace for me is being in the trench.
Yeah.
Right? I have
all
people,
individual,
like, for instance, she's going to kill me for this, but my girl is always busting me for being like in a state of chaos. Yeah. She's like, I don't understand. Like, you never have peace. You're always in chaos. You're always dealing with this or that. And I'm like,
that's it.
It might be unhealthy, but I kind of function off of that.
I think what it is,
is, you know.
So I used to think that creativity and business were different, but you know, I'm a creative guy. I'm a dancer. I'm also an entrepreneur, right? But I feel like in my mind, it's like I want to create. There's a business that I want to build, and there's a creative component to that. So it's like I want to work on it, and so like my girl also would be like, hey, you should relax. But it's like, you don't understand. When I'm sitting here watching this show, 50% of my brain is thinking about what I want to do because I love doing it. And so I think there is peace. Like, we have to have balance, right? You have to sleep, eat well. You know, we're getting older. I'm a little bit older than you. So it's like, you can't run on 3 hours of sleep anymore. You can't, right? You have to be healthy. You have to show up for your kids. Right? So there's a balance, but you know, I think the piece is like, if you found what you love, and this is what I try to get people to do. Like, the reason I'm able to do so much every single day is because I love doing it. If I didn't, I couldn't. But I love doing it, and I'm at peace when I'm just
in the grind.
doing. I'm just doing. You know.
People always say to me, when are you going to slow down, and like, when are you going to find work-life balance? Like, I stopped trying. You know, and I would be getting embarrassed with my ex-partner. I'll be like, I'm just going to be here for another hour. I'm just going to be here for another 20 minutes. I'm just going to do it for another 10.
It'd be like 3 hours, 4 hours.
3 years later. And she's like,
I feel that 100%.
And I'm like, now I'm like, I'm at peace with all that. Like, I'm at peace with like my demons, and I just know where I'm going. And it's like, you're supported, you encourage me, you know, or you pay me, or you're not in. That's it. And I made peace with that. Like, it's what I am. If you want a part of it, great. If you don't, I'll be there with the girls. That's what it is. That's who, you know. And there is no more work-life balance. Stop trying it. Stop trying to find it.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm going to work 90% of the time, and life is going to be 10. There you go. That's my balance.
Yeah.
Like it.
I agree. I've never believed in work-life balance. I don't think, as a creative person, I know a lot of professional dancers, painters, artists, right? And I mean, a painter wants to paint. You know, there is no like, I don't want to work. No, they imagine creation, or they try to find another muse to work. You know, so the thing about artists is that their work is what other people consider a hobby, but it's like, no, like
that's the thing. Yeah, that's the
most
thing.
People
most people want to like talk about work-life balance as it's like, but what they're actually doing is they're trying to give you their idea of what work-life balance is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm not living your work-life balance, so that means that I don't have work-life balance.
Right.
That's the key. And it's understanding that, and it's actually giving that rebuttal back and be like, no, that's your idea of work-life balance. My idea is that I'm here in the grind 6 days a week, and on the 7th day, I'm recovering to go again for another 6 days. That's what it is. Yours is you want to work far less and be up far more because you don't like what you do.
Yeah.
That's your fault. That's not my fault.
Which everybody would feel that way.
Correct. Yeah.
If you don't like what you're doing, nobody wants to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the work-life balance comes in.
Yeah.
I'll only work to be able to support the life. But it's the opposite for us. It's like I live to support work because I like my work.
Yeah.
Mad concept. I like my work, fuckhead. I like doing what I do.
Even when it sucks. I mean, work, no matter what you do, there's going to be days that are hard. Okay.
Correct.
Especially in business, it can be hard. You're going to have deals that fall through. It's stressful. It's hard.
Yeah.
But, you know, you love that problem solving. The other question I love to ask people is, what are you most excited about?
I'm excited about the future. It's like this. I tell people all the time, and when they ask me questions like that, it's like, I got a Ferrari in the garage. I'm just waiting for the doors to open, my friend, and I'm gone. Because when I go, I ain't going to slow down.
Yeah.
And like we've grown exponentially since 6th of June 2022. Like boom, 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 boom. Where we're going in 5 years is fucking going to be frightening. It gives me goosebumps, but it also frustrates me because I can't speed up time.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to make peace, which I do with the minutiae, as I tell my team. You got to make peace with the inches, dickhead. The inches are what's creating the foot, and the foot's what's going to create the mile. So I'm excited. I'm a Ferrari waiting for the door to blow up. The door is starting to twist. I can hear the lock starting to twist, and once it goes, it's going to go.
Yeah, man, I tied that. I was thinking about what you said earlier. Some people try to buy their way out, right? But it's like the inches make the feet make the mile. You know? Do they use miles in Ireland?
Miles. We use kilometers in Ireland, but we use
I was
Say
thinking,
miles.
he was relating to
UK.
us. We were in the same.
miles in the UK. Yeah. But that's just what it is. It's just a game of inches every day. It brings it down to any given Sunday. It's like, but that's so fucking true. It's like business is like an inch a day. That's all it is.
And sometimes all you can do is get through the day.
Literally.
Yeah.
All you can do is break even some days. You're like, fuck, I didn't die today.
Trust
Thank
me, I
God.
feel that.
Yeah. Some days you
that.
just break even at zero. It's like, oh, thank God I didn't lose.
I know.
And some days you lose. But I always tell people, like, there's 7 days. If you lose 2 and win 5, you win.
Yeah.
That's how it
It's
works.
true.
It's massive.
No, I feel that. And you know, it brings me back to something that you mentioned yesterday, which was like not everybody is built to be an entrepreneur.
No.
Yeah.
And that was like, that hit me hard because you mentioned that story about like being in the Uber and making a call and like looking at the Uber driver and be like, man, this guy can, like, I don't want to say envious because they have a different life with different problems, but it's like the ability to turn it off is something that we all take for granted.
Yeah.
Until you get in the space and you're like, I literally can't turn it off. It's impossible to turn it off. And other people that aren't in the grind don't understand what it means because they can turn it off at 5 p.m. They look forward all day to turning it off at 5 p.m.
But I'll tell you this, that person works for somebody else who doesn't turn it off.
100%.
Yeah.
Because in today's world, the world is 24/7, 365. If I want to make sales on Christmas Day, I can make sales on Christmas Day. Why? Because a large portion of the fucking population don't celebrate Christmas Day. It's Eid or it's fucking, you know, what the Jewish people celebrate, whatever the fuck those lunatics celebrate. Like, there's, like, not everybody celebrates the same day.
Keep that in.
Yeah, do whatever you like with it. But it's true, like, it's like 365, 24/7.
Yeah.
That's the game now, and that's the reality. And the faster you come to that realization, you'll know pretty quick whether you're built for entrepreneurship or not.
Yeah. I would say if there is a balance, and it's something I'm working on. So I have, you know, my channel's been growing, which is awesome to see, generating great revenue, and it's like treading the line of doing more, but not killing myself. Like at the same time, because it's like, okay, I could just do like 20, because I know how much money I make per video. So it's like, if I just do 100 videos a month, then I can make infinite money. But it's like, wait, I got to build the team first. And every person, it's like, all right, I'm on a 45-minute Zoom call with every person I bring on because I have to train them. And I know there's going to be a follow-up Zoom call because I'm probably going to forget something and they're going to have questions and I'm responsible for training them.
Yep.
So that's an hour and a half of Zoom time that I'm not producing content or building the business. So there's
but those are the inches.
There's inches before
and I
I
think
can
people
get to
disqualify the inches.
Yeah.
Every
people
time.
People like, it's really difficult. I'll tell you the story. Like I had a guy that came to me, he was 19 years of age. He was making £8,000 when he came to me, $8,000. He lives over there in Fort Lauderdale. And in 3.5 months, I took him from 8K to 34K in commissions. Same offer, same lead, same everything. Just made him better. And I jumped on a case study with him in one of my free groups. I'll plug it now, the Objection Box community, boys.
Check it out.
And I jumped on and I said, like, I'm kind of disappointed in myself and I'm kind of angry at myself that I've helped you get to this life at 19 years of age. And he was like, what? I was like, you don't have enough dick punches. Like, you're 19 years of age. You haven't got your dick kicked in too many times, kid, to appreciate 34 grand commissions off the table. No overhead. Your internet, $100 a month. 34 bags off the table, my friend. So the reason I say that is because, like, his friends are all, under 25 millionaires. That's who his group of friends is. So it's all relative, isn't it? It's all relative to it. So the last thing I said to him, I was like, look, I don't want to be back here in 2 years' time, you telling me you lost it all and you fucked it all. And he said, I can never lose it all because everyone I'm surrounded with are making 10 times more than me. I'm like, fuck this. So it's like, Jesus, I'm 10 years too late.
That's powerful, man. That's the thing that probably bugs me the most is comparison. It's a thief of joy.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So, I had a late start, but, again, going back to what I said earlier, we all start where we start.
Yeah.
My goal when I was working at Edward Jones, I wanted to make 6 figures a year. I wanted to make $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
My first job,
to make 60 back then.
I was making $55,000. I was chilling. My rent was $600. I thought I was doing well. I had a girl that I was trying to get married to at the time. I had this whole little simple life plan.
Why you didn't get married for, you mad bastard?
I was from the Midwest. I was young
living
and
that good life.
Then, proximity. I moved to New York. I got tired. I realized I didn't want to be in a cubicle. Moved to New York. I remember that my first elevator ride in New York. Going down the elevator. First day on the job. I just cracked 6 figures. I'm feeling good. I've got my stupid ass suit on. Guy's in the elevator complaining. He's like, man, I only cracked 500K this year. My wife only brought in 4. So my ego just got beat. I'm like, this guy only made $500,000 and his wife, who's also making way more money than me, only cracked 4.
Yeah.
And he's talking to his buddy, and his buddy also made some other, huge amount of money, comparatively at the time. And that, my first day in New York, right? I was excited, and so there was a component of like, who you're around. You want to be motivated, but you don't want to be disappointed in what you have, right? Because I still was on the path, but that lit a fire in me immediately, where I was like, wow, I need to like reevaluate everything. Yeah. And then I got in real estate and a bunch of other things, and then the money starts coming. But I mean,
you got to go backwards though. I've always, like, if you play that game, you're never going to be happy. I always go backwards, and like 3.5 years ago, my hour was worth £45 in the gym. Yeah. I wouldn't open up a conversation with anybody now for less than $2.5 grand per hour.
Yeah.
Like, that's 20 minutes, 30, 40 minutes of my time. That's not actually jumping into our actual trainings and mentorships. And I'm not saying that to boast. I'm just saying, like, as you go up the levels and you become more valuable to the market, because the market dictates what you're worth. So I always go backwards to me, not to you, because if I go against you, I might be beating you, whatever that may mean, but you may be crushing me. So it's like, I got to go backwards in order to go forward.
Yeah. And then really, at the end of the day, the only thing that we can compare is really our past selves. So going backwards, I mean, if you try to compare yourself to anyone externally, you're going to be disappointed. Yeah. Or at best case scenario, you may boost your ego because you might be doing better than someone, but there is always someone doing better than you.
You never know what other people went through, right? You talk about the motivation, like that guy, he could be doing $10 million a year, but like, you don't know what his motivations are. Maybe his house got blown up. Yeah. So he has a stronger why than you. So he's doing numbers, but it's good to be around people. But I think it's better to know people, figure out the components that you want from them. Yeah. Because like you said, it's not about the money, right? I see somebody. We're here in Miami. There's Ferraris, any car here. So I guarantee you, if you buy a nice car in Miami, it's not going to feel good.
No one cares.
Nobody cares.
Because they're everywhere.
Is that the Uber? It's like,
so what do you buy? So here, I mean, it's people chase status, but then once you have status, so does everybody else.
Yeah.
So you really have to know what you want out of life.
Yeah,
you know?
And I think it just comes down to really doing what feels right, right? Not what makes you feel good,
Yeah.
but what feels right. And this goes back to finding that peace and finding that purpose.
Yeah.
And really what that means for you, because like I get an amount of anxiety out of like the business component of what I now do every day.
Yeah.
However, I get an immense amount of joy and peace out of it. And what I can tell you is how many people in Miami have Ferraris? There's a lot. How many people in Miami have Lambos? There's a lot.
Yeah.
How many people own a beautiful production studio? Very few. There's still a lot in comparison to other cities. But how many people own the studio that they love and that they care about and get to have amazing connections in?
Yeah.
And that's what fulfills me. This is something that we used to do for free. This is something we pay for.
Yeah.
We pay to have the podcast done. We pay to have it edited. We pay to have it produced. We pay to have it put out.
Yeah.
And we've been doing that since we had 0 subscribers.
Yeah.
We do it when we have 100. We do it when it doesn't matter the number because we're doing it anyways because we enjoy it. And that part of the process gives us peace.
And it's also not just you. When other people start to love your shit, that's when it means more to you. So it's the same for me. Like, it's like when people message me and they say to me, you know, you've helped me book, for argument's sake, my first family holiday.
Wow.
It's like,
Wow.
it's things like that. It's like I'll come and go in their life, but that memory will never go. So for me, that's the driver. Like the money that the company makes is great, wonderful, whoop-de-doo. It just means I can help more people. It's the feeling and it's the emotion and it's what they give you back internally, which is the key for me.
That's huge, man. I've gotten more sentimental as I've gotten older. I think as I've
Age will do that to you, yeah.
as I've
Whiskey.
experienced more loss and people, people pass away, but like moments like that. So I'm a day trader, right? And I have a Discord and people message me things like that where it's like, hey, I was able to pay off my car or something, and like I get tears sometimes because I can feel like you said that validation where it's like I don't even need to make money, just giving people the ability to do it themselves. It's like, all right, I've done enough.
It's like like for me, I'm big on helping and giving back. So we're going to sponsor a team. So we're going to sponsor their jerseys and their equipment and stuff like that. Because I remember being on teams when other people sponsored my stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like all of these kind of sentimental things you do to, of course there's branding, and of course it's all like building a business and great stuff, but the core of it is people for me, always will be.
That's massive.
And I think that just ties everything together, right? If we go back to a couple of the things that you mentioned today, it's been being with your girls on the stage, right? Having your brother in your business.
Yeah.
It's been, the peace I think that comes from being with your family.
Yeah.
And giving back to people. And at the end of the day, whether it be in the middle of a sale where you're connecting on a heart level or being with your daughters or, whomever you're with, it really all comes down to relationships. And I think I'd like to use that as the component that wraps this whole thing together is that at the end of the day, in order to be a good salesperson or just to find peace in general, you have to be good at building relationships, right? Like that's really what it comes down to. Relationships are the key to everything.
And accept who you are. That's a big message.
And the relationship starts and ends with you first.
Yeah.
And making peace with yourself. I couldn't have done what we've done, and just bear in mind it's 13%, if I didn't back then make peace with who I am and what what I want to be along the way, and make peace with people in my life. And I will absolutely categorically say there's not an ounce in my body and soul that has resentment or anger for any of those people anymore. So it gave me a superpower to just say, you can't hurt me, fuckhead. You can't, there's nothing you can do or say other than beat me silly with a pole that will hurt me. So it gave me a superpower to just fucking go. And as I say, as soon as that door kicks off, the Ferrari is fucking flooding it. Or the Honda Civic, who gives a fuck? Or the fucking Toyota Prius, like I just came here in it. So I'm going, and that's what it is. It ain't gonna stop.
I love that, man. Well, I think, was that the wrapping thoughts?
That's great, man.
Where can people find you? I know you shouted out
I
earlier.
also want you to plug Objection Box again. So you've got a community. What else is going on? Where can people go?
Yeah, so we don't have a fucking massive YouTube channel, so maybe we will connect on that. Maybe we'll do some. What do? Do you use skits and shit like that, or like? Is it
No. So it's more like educational, edutainment,
cool.
right?
Yeah.
So it's.
Because when you said you dance, like people dance, and it's like, am I dancing in front of a lot of people, like they do in London? So they, like, for argument's sake, performers will sing, and they will record the crowd's reactions. And that like bangs. So that's what I mean.
I'm too old for that. So I used to dance on the streets when I was younger. Now it's purely a hobby. No, but my channel's around day trading. So I day trade. I've been doing that for a few years. Cool. And I just teach people that. And then I have a a Discord community where we trade live.
Oh, yeah,
so
sure.
my YouTube channel is essentially the top of a funnel. Then I have
Yeah.
partners that I work with to promote their products and things like that.
Very good.
Where most of my money comes through is through affiliates. And then I'm also running one of the companies reached out to me, and I'm running their channel as well. So that's kind of the shtick there. But yeah, if you want to connect on it.
Absolutely. I don't know will I be day trading, but yeah, we can definitely use something for sure. But yeah, it's Bill Welch Official on Instagram. We have a Facebook community where we actually coach 3-4 times a week for absolutely zero, like the objections that were just there. I just go through it, I just literally give them to you. Think about it, partner, money, fear, logistics, I just give them away. Just go make a ton of money and just say thanks. I'm all about reciprocity.
And you even do live sales calls on there, right?
Yeah, don't care. Like we just did here. Unscripted, uncut, throw it up. Guaranteed no one will ever quit it like that.
That's great.
So the Objection Box community or Instagram, Bill Welch Official, hit me up. We're actually just built out a school group, and in the last 10 days, it's got under 75. So there's over 6,000 school groups in the school community, and ours from the engagement results and the pop off, really, it's 70 something.
Wow. That's
so
huge.
It's really grown, yeah, which is good. So message me, we'll give you the links and stuff like that. We'll help you for free.
I love that.
That's awesome.
Nice,
You want to bring us out?
Yeah. Well, dude, thank you so much for coming.
No, I appreciate you
No,
guys.
I really appreciate it. This has been amazing. And thank you all if you stuck around this long. We certainly appreciate you. Please, if you have not done so already, like this, subscribe, share it with a friend, and until then, we'll see you on the next one.
Deuces.
Deuces.
Deuces.